So, hello and welcome to the 7th episode of this series where I document my quest to develop a retro game for the ZX81. So, what's the current state? So, all main winning situations and all main game overs as planned are now implemented and should be working. I had added one more path to beating the scenario and one more game over, but I had to cut them again due to memory errors. And what you're seeing now, by the way, is the final dialogues when you beat the scenario. And the biggest challenge was actually memory. So I was at the limit and still were missing a couple dialogue elements and also a couple checks when the different paths sort of merge and how to deal with that. That there are always the right choices and never the wrong choices available. And I was also missing the final animation that we are about to see now. Because, of course, every game should end with something a little bit dramatic and not just with a plain congratulations, you are winner. And yeah, so this, of course, cheap, so it simply moves one a column to the left and then has always one trailing space when it moves about, but it worked, and I'm still at the memory limit. So when on the final screen, at least for a while, I couldn't display congratulations. That would have an out of memory error, but I could say something like well done, and that would work. So it was really about a few bytes, but I could rearrange a couple things, and then that problem was solved, and it now says congratulations again on the final screen. But I think I'm still on the level of just having a couple of bytes over that the internal garbage collection has to move away when any new operation is done. So without having or doing a huge revamps, I can say I utilized all of the 16K available and had to exchange a lot of the numbers like 0 or 1 to not pi and sane pi, or work with other memory saving shortcuts that have the same effect, that made the code a little bit more unreadable, but effectively save a couple bytes at a time. So the stars, for instance, that you see on the main screen, they are now randomized and not manually placed, because for every manual placement, I would have to have 14 bytes just for the manually typed in coordinates, so 7 bytes per number, whereas if I randomize, then at some point I'm getting less memory usage from the code than I would have with the fixed coordinates. And here's also something that I will hopefully utilize in the next episode, so a success code, so that you don't have to enter your command codes, so the characteristics of the player character again, and also can pick up on the actual way how this scenario was solved. So a little bit Mass Effect style, and yeah, let's see how this goes. So all that's left for me to do now is to do some final testing for all the different pathways that can and cannot be taken, whether all the game overs work, whether all the winning situations work, whether I run into memory errors at any point, or that always the right options and never the wrong options are displayed when there are several ways of beating the scenario. So with all the initial player characteristics, so tactical versus engineering, and won a battle versus a negotiated an important treaty. Sometimes you have two options how you can proceed in the game, and sometimes you have one. You'll never have all three, but you also never have zero. And of course, that means that sometimes one or two options have to be displayed, and that has to work under all circumstances. So that's the last thing for me to test. Otherwise, let's say I'm done. And yeah. So I hope again this kind of insight and the progress over this episode was interesting. And as usual, thank you for watching.